Hi, I'm Mike Fu, and I have a message for all the doctors in the United States. First and foremost, thank you for being the frontline guardians of the health and well being for our society. Today, I humbly ask you to listen with open ears as my message not only relates to your profession and the health and well being of you and your patients, but also the health and wellness of our democracy. I'm an educator and a parent of two children in my town. I'm also a member of my teachers' union, and recently we went on strike. It was one of the most difficult events in my life, but it was also deeply inspiring. Through solidarity, I learned that my participation was not only for the benefit of my fellow educators, community, and children. My participation to fight for the working class was my civic duty as a citizen in a democratic society whose majority is the working class. As medical providers, you are often asked to sacrifice for the greater good. You've taken the Hippocratic oath to do no harm. But what happens when the system itself is doing harm? What happens when the structure around you no longer supports the very principles you swore to uphold? I'm going to give you an analogy on a topic you're very familiar with: vaccines. They are one of the greatest medical advancements in history. While they don't guarantee complete immunity, they drastically reduce risk for individuals and protect the most vulnerable among us through herd immunity. We don't all need to be vaccinated for a disease to be controlled, but the more who are, the stronger we are as a collective. You practice evidence based medicine, so you're well versed in this. Now apply that same concept to unionization. Unions are often associated with blue collar work, but the reality is every working person, whether you're a nurse, a teacher, or a surgeon, has the same relationship with their employer, which is their contract. Just like me, you are employees. And just like me, you expect your employer in good faith to provide the resources and environment needed to do your job well. With hospital systems growing enormously, it is inevitable that the day to day needs and resources for a doctor to provide quality care have not only been compromised, but become secondary to profit. When you're told to see patients in 15-minute windows or less, and sometimes double booked, it is a collective voice that allows you to push back against such a big system. Even if you're not part of a union right now, you may still benefit from the actions of those who are. When one group of doctors pushes for safer staffing, better schedules, or improved patient care environments, the ripple effects reach everyone. That is the power of herd immunity. But just like vaccinations, its strength depends on the size of the herd. The idea that unions are not for doctors is a social construct, one largely unique to the United States, unfortunately. In many other advanced nations, doctors do have unions or strong professional associations that function similarly. But here, corporate interests have spent decades promoting skepticism and division, discouraging medical professionals from organizing by framing unions as unnecessary, radical, or corrupt. Let me be transparent. I don't agree with everything a union does. I don't believe that a union always does the right thing. But I believe in a mechanism of checks and balances, just as we believe in our democratic institutions and their checks and balances. Also, criticisms of unions in good faith are necessary and welcome, but they are not sufficient to entirely abandon the idea of unionizing. There are reasons to engage and improve it. Opposing unions without participating in them is like criticizing the government without voting. It's easy to point fingers, but it's harder and far more meaningful to take responsibility. Circling back to vaccinations, many patients today don't trust the system that you are a part of and don't trust vaccinations for similar reasons. Unfortunately, the system perpetuates this perspective. They see pharmaceutical companies profiting off their pain. They see rush visits, denied claims, and impersonal care, and they wonder about their doctors. Do they really have the time to listen to me? It's human nature. With your patients exposed to the spread of medical misinformation, engaging them for hours a day on their screens, you, in minutes, under pressure to chart, diagnose, educate, empathize, and battle insurers just to render care have to earn a patient's trust. And yet, trust is the foundation of good medicine. So, how do you push for the time and resources needed to meaningfully improve this broken system? How do you make room to care? You do it together, you do it collectively, and possibly you do it through a union. Doctors are well compensated, yes, but you are still part of the working class. And a healthy democracy depends on the voices of the majority being heard. In 2025, one of the most powerful things you can do for your patients, your profession, and your democracy is to organize. Unionizing isn't just about better pay or shorter hours. It's about preserving the integrity of your work. It's about creating a system where doing no harm is actually possible. As a member of the working class, I urge you to participate in union membership. At the least, have honest and genuine conversations in good faith about the system and the necessary role unions play. Thank you all for listening and everything you already do. I appreciate you all. Best of luck.